We are here in the Charm City, and it is that time of year again, the MIAA Basketball Championships. We've got an exciting doubleheader matchup on tap for you tonight. We get started with a Conference B championship between Severn and St. Paul's in a rematch of last year's championship game. We welcome you to courtside. I'm Jeff Arnold, and pleased to be joined by the great Jimmy Patsos. We got some exciting basketball for you here tonight. A rematch of last year's Conference B championship game, and two teams, Jimmy, that know each other really well.
Look, Coach Holland's done an amazing job at St. Paul's. They're knocking on the door. Severn's a two-time defending champ. Henry Hatter can shoot the three for St. Paul's really well. They have a lot of football players on their team, and they are going to be an interesting guys to watch because they're a little physically bigger. I think Coach Holland's done a really good job. But Coach Glasby is a defending champ 2 times in a row. They got Sean Harvey. It's going to kind of be a guard versus guard play, a little faster team versus a more physical team. But St. Paul's is knocking on the door. But until you knock off the 2-time defending champ, hats off to the Severn School.
Yeah, in terms of the players for St. Paul's that are going to play really well, I think we know that you're going to have Hatter that's going to be able to do that. But what do you think some other keys are going to be for them tonight to try and get this win?
Well, St. Paul is going to play some zone, and I think Severn's played a really tough schedule. St. John's in D.C., good counsel. So let's just see whose schedule plays up. A great match tonight.
Yeah, as for Severn, what do you expect from a team that's won 8 in a row?
I expect them to keep winning.
Should be an exciting matchup tonight. It's Severn and St. Paul's, the first of our doubleheader in the MIAA Championships, and it starts next.
What happens when a world-class luxury vehicle meets a luxurious first-class facility? You call it Sheehy Lexus of Annapolis. Right now, visit us in-store and choose from a great selection of new Lexus vehicles. Or build your own deal however you want and wherever you are at SheehyLexusOfAnnapolis.com. With an unmatched combination of selection, service, and purchasing flexibility, it's never been easier to find the perfect Lexus at Sheehy Lexus of Annapolis.
The 2026 MIAA Championships are presented by Advanced Radiology, trusted by more doctors, preferred by more patients. Archbishop Spalding Athletics, one in Christ. CFG Bank, revolutionizing the banking experience. 5 Star, connecting creators, athletes, and the best sports highlights. And Lido Pizza, the preferred pizza of the MIAA.
Well, we welcome you to the MIAA B Basketball Championship game. We got pushed a few days after we were supposed to be here on Sunday on account of some snow, but we are here tonight at CEI Arena, and it's time to take a look at the Toyota starting lineups, and we're going to begin with St. Paul's, Jimmy, and you were talking about Henry Hatter in the open and just the impact that he can have for the St. Paul's team.
Hatter's going to shoot the ball well. They have a physical team. They have some football players playing, but if they get Hatter open, and Caden Edwards is really good too. These are the 2 shooters for St. Paul's, but they have some depth, and they have some guys that have some high major football players. So Coach Holland's done a great job of implementing. I always like guys that play 2 sports. Well, they can set screens, they can rebound, they can physical. They have depth, but they're not the defending champs. The Severn School is the defending champs, Coach Glasby. And we all know Sean Harvey's really good. Grayson Skeeter's good. DJ Lee, they're more of a fast guard-orientated team. They have 5 guys that can all handle the ball, etc. It's a little bit more of strength versus speed and quickness. But to me, Hatter versus Harvey is the big matchup.
Yeah, you've got Harvey, who's a Shenandoah commit. He had a career-high 31 points in the semifinals in the last game. And then for Henry Hatter, shoots it well from 3. Scrappy. These are 2 teams, 2 coaches that know each other very well in Phil Hahn and Mike Glassby.
Yeah, and Hatter's got a lot of D3 looks like Gettysburg, etc. I hope he plays Division III, but some guys want to go to big schools. I like that Harvey's committed to Shenandoah. I played Division III at Catholic U. There's a book called Pipeline to the Pros about how many Division III players, like Charlie Jackson at Johns Hopkins and like guys at Catholic U in the Sweet 16, that's where these players have a chance to play in college is Division III. Sure, you have your outliers and there's some Division I football players. But right now, this is Severn versus St. Mary's. Severn versus St. Paul's. St. Mary's was there twice. They won. Severn won twice. St. Paul goes to the final. Can Coach Hahn and St. Paul get over the hump? And until you beat the champs, and that's why Severn's done a great job. They've had kids transferring out. They've had kids graduating. Coach Glassby just keeps winning. But I want to see if Coach Hahn, who's slowly been building a really good program at St. Paul's, to get to the finals last year. For those wondering, St. Mary's went division. They went to the A class. Okay, they left. Okay, they took Goretti's place. So now you have, these are the 2 best players in the B, the 2 best teams with a lot of good players. But right now, Severn has the advantage because they're the champs and they've won 8 in a row. Yeah,
and I'm sure that Phil Hahn would tell you that if you're going to be the champs, you got to beat the champs. Russell Johnson, Alfonso Hawes, and Jordan Reed are our officials for this Conference B championship game. And we are underway here from CEI Arena, home of UMBC. And it's St. Paul's Noah Washington who has the basketball first. Now deals it off to Andrew Cooper. Gets inside, and Cooper adds 2 to open the scoring.
And that's what I meant about the physicality and the strength of St. Paul's team. They have 6 out of 8 of their guys. Coach Hahn's first thing is 6 out of 8 guys play football. And it's great for the school that we've had all these guys playing 2 sports. And you just saw him take the ball inside and score.
Yeah, they have a lot of big guys, and it's going to really challenge Severn. Winners in 8 games in a row coming into this one. 3 ball, and that will bounce through. Chase McClure knocks down the triple. Shooting about 35% from 3 on the year.
Yeah, and Chase McClure just right there makes a 3, and that's 3 versus 2. That's inside versus outside. But that's where I think right there that St. Paul's offensive rebounding and then scoring an offensive rebound is going to be a problem for Severn to stop.
Well, you talk about football players. Cole Edwards lays it in right there, and we've got a 4-3 ball game right out of the gate. Sean Harvey drives and kicks. DJ Lee's had a nice year. Right back to Harvey, and he drills the 3. So Severn, a good start from 3-point territory.
And that's why we said 3s versus 2. And by the way, we're in a building. UMBC just beat Vermont. They've won 6 in a row. They're top of the America East. You know why? Because they shoot the 3 well. If you shoot the 3 well, you're going to outscore your opponents over time with percentage-wise.
This is Andrew Cooper. Cooper, senior point forward type. Threw it into the middle. Fortunately, Cooper gets it back, throws it up, but there Jones had his arms up. Ball is loose on the deck, and Severn comes out on the run. DJ Lee, that one gets swatted away by Cole Edwards. What a play on defense. Now here's Hatter for 3. Left that one short.
It's all right, a little bit of nerves. Henry Hatter, this is a big game for him. He's a senior, so he knows going out. Remember, they're playing on a 94 feet court. For those of you, if you're listening, you don't understand, high schools are 84 feet. You're running a little bit longer every time. There's different lighting in here. The backgrounds are a little bit deeper. Like this isn't high school basketball. You're playing in the college atmosphere. That's why I love the games here. Good job by Dave Cottle and Mark Fratto getting these games here, getting them on TV. But don't think the players aren't a little nervous because they are, Jeff.
Yeah, and you know what? It's been the last couple of years they've been able to play the games at UMBC. Great partnership between them and the MIAA. Nice bank shot there from Cole Edwards. 6 apiece as we hit 5.5 minutes.
Edwards has some substantial football scholarship offers right now.
Yeah, you got him and you got Karan Wheeler, who's been getting recruited by Florida and Georgia and all kinds of other schools.
Wow, that's about as big as you get Florida and Georgia.
Yeah, the size will usually indicate who the football players are. From the corner, this time McClure can't hit it. Defensive rebound here for St. Paul's. On the baseline, Cooper gets cut off and turns it over. Here's Severn out on the run. LeClaire with a pull-up, throws it to the wrong colored jersey. Hatter, snowbirding on the other end, takes it all the way for two.
There's Hatter with his left hand. See how he's like with shooters like Hatter. Better to have him make a layup first than his three-pointer. Like, get it going. You see Severn on the defensive end. They're playing a shell drill, packing in man-to-man. They're attacking that ball. But right there, a little turnover by Severn. That's the one thing you don't want to do because St. Paul's is running out and scoring. That's why they're winning 8-6.
Here's Harvey. Good look for T.J. Jones. They leave him open, and he makes him pay, hitting the latest three for Severn, who's got a 1-point lead down.
So that's three different players that have hit threes. They have, it's 9-8. They've turned it over. They're not playing especially perfect basketball, Severn, but they have 3 threes by 3 different guys. T.J. Jones, that's the look you want, a starter. That's what I mean. They're a little faster, can spread you out. And it looks like when the ball goes inside, Coach Glasgow's going to start digging down in there and seeing if St. Paul's can handle the double down, kick it out for a three. That's what St. Paul's has to adjust to. That's just pure strength right there.
Yeah, Edwards able to lay that one home. Find a way to stop him on the interior. That's got to be what Severn's thinking about right now. This is Zach Youssef, who has just checked in. Now DJ Lee went for 20 points last time against Concordia Prep. Misses that one and right into the arms of Edwards.
See, I like that. They didn't settle there. St. Paul's, now they reverse the ball. And that looks like a 2-3 zone. Severn's sort of in a, yeah, they're either switching on the perimeter or they're in a 2-3 zone. St. Paul steps out of bounds.
That was Washington who there lost the feel for where he was. 3:27 to go here in the first quarter. The Conference B championship game. Second year in a row where these two teams have met up in the championship game. Here's DJ Lee from the angle this time. So one and done once again for Severn. Up ahead for Hatter. Driving it in. Uses glass. Can't get it to go. Knocked out of bounds. Last off of the Admirals, and it will remain St. Paul's basketball.
Good play by Hatter. See, he's not bad going left. 2 guys on him. He gets it on the glass. That's okay. Because that's part of the offense for St. Paul's is to go offensive. If you watched Kansas play Houston last night, Houston's a great offensive rebounding team. Calvin Sampson always says it. That's part of your offense. St. Paul's does the same thing. When it goes up, they're going to go to the offensive glass. Coach Holland's done a good job of teaching that.
Cooper inside, can't get it to go. Karan Wheeler has just checked in. He misses, out of bounds, and once again, it'll be the Crusaders who keep it.
And as I say that, thank you, Wheeler, for making me look good. The ball goes up, they get the offensive rebound. He's just got to finish that. Usually you get fouled or you'll score when you get an offensive rebound. That's where the size advantage is a little substantial. But
yeah, they list Karan Wheeler 6'7", 260.
Defensive end.
And that's what you're looking for. You're trying for that position. Floated up there, won't go from Cooper. Nice offensive rebound. Long three here from Caden Edwards. Misses that one. Cooper, another offensive rebound. Contact, no call. Severn comes up with it. Harvey out on the run. They've got a power play. Bounce pass ahead, and the easy lay-in for T.J. Jones. Nice job running the floor.
Sure, that's three offensive rebounds St. Paul's got. Don't convert, but you got to get back on defense. That's where Severn knows they're clashing the grass. If they're going to crash the glass, they will run on the fast break.
Approaching 2 minutes to go in the opening quarter, a 1-point Severn lead. Severn so far has had some success from three-point territory. Hatter trying to find some, and he hits his first three of the night. Henry Hatter is shooting about 40% from three-point territory on the year. St. Paul's missed him in December when he ended up getting hurt in the McDonough game. He missed around 10 games, but when he is back, the St. Paul's team hits another gear.
Yeah, I like Hatter does a good job on defense, too. He's got his hand up when guys catching the ball, hand up stopping the drive. He's talking on defense right there, cuts off the baseline, and that's why they get his steal. See, Hatter will play both ends.
St. Paul's out on the run. Can't be put home there by Edwards. Now Harvey Harvey ahead, nice dribble, and Yusuf lays that one in on the reverse.
Yusuf gives them good size off the bench. I like him. Zach gives them size. Here's the thing I see right now. Severn's getting easy baskets. St. Paul's is working really hard. It's a tie game. St. Paul's has missed a couple of chippies inside.
And a good take right to the basket. As you see St. Paul's, you talk about the rebounds they're getting, and then you get Andrew Cooper coming through.
Yeah, points in the paint. There's paint touches. You know, you get your two in the blue, they call it. You get 2 feet in the paint, you're going to have good things happen. But Severn, they're efficient when they get out on the break. I don't think I got to watch more of their half-court sets. But St. Paul's half-court defense is fine. It's a transition defense they have to work on.
9 seconds on the shot clock for DJ Lee, the second leading scorer on the Admirals. Drives into traffic, and a foul is called with a shot clock down to 2, and the game clock only at 26. I don't know. What do you think?
I probably could go either way, but I'll tell you, these referees have been letting them play, which I always think that's a good when I coached, I'd rather have referees that let us play than call too much.
So 20 seconds get put on the shot clock, 26 games of the first quarter clock. Harvey on the drive, takes it in against traffic, and there's Wheeler coming away with a rebound. And a final look coming up for St. Paul's with 15 seconds to go in the quarter. This is Bryson Clark. Threw it inside, got it back, laid it up and in, Cole Edwards.
There it is, points in the paint. Scrappy hustle, and Wheeler and Edwards giving them some. So that's just a lot of size in there for St. Paul's.
Now, a lot of opportunities for St. Paul's in the opening quarter. One in the books here from the Conference B championship game. You've got some threes from Severn, but so far it has been St. Paul's throughout the first.
With the Toyota, affordability isn't about cutting back. It's about getting more. And with many models starting under $35,000, getting ahead has never been easier. So check out a Camry and choose from the features and tech you want, or a Corolla with the style and value you need. Plus, every new Toyota comes with a 2-year no-cost scheduled maintenance plan. Buy a Camry or Corolla today with 4.99% financing. Toyota, let's go places.
Well, we welcome you back to CEI Arena for the Conference B Championship game of the MIAA. 17-13 the lead for St. Paul's. This is the big lead for either team so far, Jimmy Patsos, and it was a first quarter where we saw 7 different lead changes.
Yeah, Severn hits 2 threes, and they get two on the break. That's their game. That's how they got 13. St. Paul's has dominated the ball, got the ball inside, taking a lot more shots. But thanks to the threes, which they put another one up, and it goes in. Severn, they don't have to have as many possessions because they're going to shoot threes, and they're very good at converting on the break.
Yeah, and you got to get Harvey going. He's got 2 makes in this game, both 3-pointers. And so it is back to a 1-point game. Karan Wheeler entered late in the first quarter, powering his way inside, and he gets fouled.
That's where you can get the foul. See, if you get the ball in the paint, you're going to get fouled, then you can set up your press. There was a little traffic out there if everyone's wondering about the crowd. And, you know, the snow day, safety first, but Sunday this place was ready to be packed. You know, Sunday's a lot easier for families to get here. And then there was a big accident on 95 right now, so people are filling into the building. But I wondered whether the 2 days, which team the 2 days helped. Did it help Severn? I think it helps St. Paul's more because they're kind of chasing them, give them a little more rest, give them a little time to prepare. They're a little deeper team.
Yeah, a little bit deeper. 2 head coaches in Phil Hahn and Mike Glasby who know each other very well. These 2 teams have met a bunch in the playoffs. And St. Paul's seeing if they can pick up a win in the Conference B championship game after Severn won it last year.
Like I said, St. Mary's was a power. I used to watch them down in Annapolis. That's where Dave Cottle and Nick Manis and all our friends live. And you'd go to St. Mary's games, and that's when I realized that then Juan Dixon's son was here. In other words, I started to watch the B conference more. I know Coach Hahn. St. Mary's goes to the A, kind of opens it up. Severn makes their run. And St. Paul's has been right on this thing. Coach Hahn works hard in the Baltimore area. Coach Hahn's involved with AAU programs. But what he does a good job of at St. Paul's is keeping the kids. The young men don't leave there. And there's another inside basket, 4 feet from the basket. They're following orders and going into the paint, St. Paul.
Yeah, I mean, you've seen Edwards and Wheeler pretty much get anything they want when they've gotten inside.
I had an interesting run as a college coach. Tony Gonzalez was on Cal. Julius Peppers was on Carolina. Those football guys were hard to cover.
And that is a nice field goal make by T.J. Jones. I can't imagine anybody wanted to take a charge when one of those guys was coming down the lane.
No, Peppers and Gonzalez. They said, how good are they at football? Well, I think they both have yellow jackets. Gold jackets.
Nice defense.
See, there's Severn again. Now, you got to stop the break if you're St. Paul. You got to match up in transition because Severn likes to do that. And that almost went in, too. They'll take a 3 in transition like the Warriors.
Washington pushing it up the floor. Is going to find it for Karan. Wheeler stretches out from three-point territory. Took a shot, missed it. Severn on the run. Nice move to the interior by DJ Lee.
Not sure that to see. I love Wheeler, but taking a 3 and then he gives up a layup. That's not the sequence we want there for St. Paul. Once again, Severn efficient on the break.
So you can make it 9 lead changes right now. Really knocked away, but Clark able to save it. It's like the jumbo package on the floor right now. Wheeler slips, loses the ball, recovered by Cooper, who gets fouled.
Andrew Cooper hanging around the paint. See, like I said, St. Paul's and Coach Hahn go to the offensive glass. They clearly do. They do drills that's what they say. Shot goes up, go to the glass. But Severn's done a good job of making them pay for that by attacking in transition.
So here's Cooper at the free throw line. 4 points at the very start of this one. And he knocks the free throw down. St. Paul's 5th straight year they're in the semifinals or better, and this is their 3rd conference championship appearance in 7 years. There you see Bryson Clark exiting the game. And then you also see Grayson Skeeter exit. T.J. Jones off for DJ Lee. Lee down the baseline, reverses it, Jones, and he hits a 3, and Severn has now got a 3-point lead.
Lee to Jones. That is your 2-man action with 2 guards. Drive and kick, use the ball screen, and then fill in behind. And St. Paul's handled the first 2 or 3 sequences, but they couldn't rotate and match up on defense. Excellent execution by Severn in the half-court offense to get a 3-point shot. They cleared out one side, 2-man game between 2 guards, and then Jones hits the 3. Jones has been impressing me very much with his overall game.
Here's Phil Hahn, who you were talking about, Jimmy, just the work he does in the recruiting front and the ability to retain kids, which is not always a given in this day and age.
Oh. It starts with the NBA. Guys make moves. College every year is NIL, transfer portal. High school's the same way. They're just, Severn's kind of executing on the right side right now. They're on the right side of the court trying to go with their right hand a lot. So they may have to overload St. Paul's and help on that defense in the half court.
Severn with a 5-point lead. It's their biggest one of the game so far. Hatter trying to find his stroke from 3-point territory. Washington gets inside, little Euro step, and the rebound to Harvey.
You're going to look back on tape. Washington had Hatter wide open in the corner. Tries to take a going left bank shot, and that's trouble. You don't match up.
Lee was left open. He misses it. Jones not able to save it, and here comes St. Paul's. Edwards.
Nice pass.
Bounced it through the window, lost it. A nice takeaway there by T.J. Jones.
Yeah, Jones steals that. Edwards makes a count. Cavan's got to score. Him and Hatter, when they score 30, they're going to win. But Severn right now, they made their run. That's why they're the champs. You probably call timeout if that went, and it didn't go.
Edwards Taking it to the basket, bucket plus the foul. That's a big answer by St. Paul's after Severn had stretched their lead out to 5.
I really like Edwards. He had a couple of twos. Now he transitions in defense. He made a great pass earlier. They just didn't finish. Like I said, I had Hatter and Edwards down. When those two guys score while St. Paul's is deep. What I just like over there, I just saw that. Noah Washington just looked, he's sophomore, looked at Hatter and said, I missed you last time. So I don't even know Phil Hahn. He's got a good group going there. Severn obviously is already in driver's seat. Glasby's coached and can win. They're the champs. And Phil Hahn did a good job. He learned from Seth, who's now the head coach of John Carroll. He was the assistant here. Seth went up to John Carroll, and they have a really good team. John Carroll's best player is going to UMBC next year. But you can feel these guys kind of play basketball for the right reason. It isn't about going to the NBA or what I'm going to try to do. Or some don't even want to play in college. Some want to play Division III. I've really been impressed with this B conference as I've gotten to grow into this.
Yeah, especially when you got programs the caliber of these two, who again meet in the championship this year. Foul is called on the drive, and so Sean Harvey is going to have a chance to shoot a couple of free throws.
Can't let Harvey drive with his right hand if you're going to shot fake. See, Hatter's a little late there. Harvey going with his right hand, best player on the team. He's either going to finish or get fouled. Can't let him drive like that with his right hand.
So Harvey hits a free throw. He's played through some injuries at some points this year. Vocal leader and somebody who's benefited from upperclassmen who have come before him.
Yeah, Shenandoah, they played Roanoke, Bridgewater, good Division III school. I think that's where Juan Dixon's brother went. Juan Dixon's brother went to Shenandoah. I really like that he wants to continue playing. Like I said, Hatter, Edwards, they're going to have D3 looks if they want to do it. And then St. Paul's has a couple of high man. Look at that pull.
Yeah, he's not afraid to stretch it out. And there's a foul called after the shot was missed.
But Phil Hahn, I'll repeat this again, was just his first thing he said to me, Jimmy, we have 6 guys that played football, really community team. We built this thing sort of from the ground up. They got some freshmen coming in next year he really likes, but wants to get a title for these young men that have stuck together in 3 years in a row, really been good. So you got to catch that with 2 hands. St. Paul's, you better get back on defense because Severn's going to hold and run their little lot. They'll run their little man, their half-court man.
Harvey directing
again.
traffic.
They like the right side.
10 seconds on the shot clock. This is Lee on a bit of a mismatch. Gets to the interior, left it short. And the defensive rebound for the Crusaders. 4-point lead for Severn. Bunch of lead changes that we've seen in the opening half of this one. Hatter. Here's Noah Washington. Talented point guard. Threw it away for Harvey. Harvey in the chase down. He's going to take it coast to coast.
Cagey move by the veteran. Good timeout by Phil Hahn. I'm sorry, I'm thinking about Phil Dixon because that's Juan's brother who went to Shenandoah. See, when you're around the DMV and when you're around Baltimore, it's so many great players and so many great basketball moments. They all sometimes get in there. Coach Hahn, good job. Timeout. Let's get settled. Noah's good, but Noah's only a sophomore, so Noah Washington's in there. A turnover, a bad shot. We're trying to get you some experience here, but make easy plays. Turnovers against Severn, you're going to pay down the other end, Jeff. You're going to pay. They're just good in transition. Fakes him into throwing it. See, Harvey, KG veteran, fakes, but also you want the player to throw it so they think that you can't steal it, then steal it. Now he's going to finish down the other end. That's just Severn's game. In transition, Severn, they must start every practice with, they call it the old UCLA drill. They are good in transition and making layups. They haven't missed any, making easy passes. It's a lost art because everybody wants to shoot the 3. I'm really impressed with Severn's approach to this game.
Yeah, and you know what? There have been times where St. Paul's has been able to get back in transition defense to slow Severn down. But as you pointed out, Harvey able to get whatever he wanted right there, got ahead of the field after that fake. And so you get a 6-point Severn lead in a first half that has mostly been very tightly contested.
St. Paul's did a good job early of going inside, establishing their paint presence. They haven't quite done that as much in the second quarter. Severn's just been consistent, but when St. Paul's really got out on the threes, they hit him early. Severn did a good job of adjusting to St. Paul's adjustment. St. Paul's went out on the 3. Severn's driven it and got into the paint to run a 2-man game. Really well. Coach Glasby, there's a reason he's won 2 titles in a row.
Now you talked about Jones and Harvey. They've combined for 21 of Severn's 28 points so far. Washington pulls the string from 3.
Not sure we love that one. See, sophomores, yeah, they don't understand sometimes. This is like an opportunity that doesn't always come around. And they're trying to do, I like Washington, but he's a sophomore, maybe trying to do a little too much right now.
Good ball movement. Lee. Shot clock reaches 8. Chase McClure against the big man. Threw that one up. Foul is called. 2 seconds on the shot clock, and so there it was lobbed up to the rim. Edwards was in his face, and then a late foul call.
So we get these stat sheets from Lisa and Fratto that we work with in these roster sheets. And on the division, on the Class A, and Chris Pike is here, one of the greatest writers in the history of high school basketball. I'm serious. BCL knows every player. Class A, you'll see a lot of transfers. The Severn School and St. Mary's, no transfers on either team. They go there, they pick the school, they know how great a school it is. What do? Stay there, try to win, develop there. In other words, it's an interesting concept. It's kind of old school to see the St. Paul's and Severn has no transfers.
And that one is no good. Here, this great UMBC facility. Jason Fine has done a tremendous job getting this thing ready for the Conference B championship going on right now. And then the Conference A championship is going to follow this one. Baseline jumper, Edwards. No, lay-in. Cole Edwards puts it home. Cade missed, but Cole cleaned it up.
The big man Edwards coming through. That's their bread and butter, getting to the offensive glass. Only a 4-point game. Look, Jason Fine, I was here for the Vermont UMBC game. Great crowd. We started with Ryan Odom. Jimmy Ferry's doing a good job. Tiffany, the AD. UMBC, great host, great building. And thank you for having us, Jason Fine. And we will be here for the America East Conference Finals. Another tough basket going with his right hand.
Yeah, DJ Lee. You've seen him and Harvey go right a bunch. That one is rejected. Picked up by Andrew Cooper. Cooper the dish. 3, Caden Edwards misses. Loose ball grabbed by Severn with 30 seconds to go. About 2-second difference between shot clock and game clock.
Yeah, so you want to shoot it with about 5 or 6 seconds so you have a chance for an offensive rebound, but not enough time for St. Paul's to come down. Caden Edwards, great look, great execution by St. Paul's. Your best player, Hatter and Edwards, are the 2 best shooters. Wide open, nothing else you can do if you coach Hahn. He's got to make those in the second half.
They spread the floor. Harvey against Hatter, goes to the interior, left it short. Cole Edwards up ahead. Andrew Cooper to the bucket. Foul is called as the clock expires. Or no, they're going to say a goaltend is going to be the call.
Class B above the rim goaltending call. Love that.
Wow. So above the rim, but goaltending is the call. And so the basket is going to count.
I think because he slapped the backboard. Good combination. And if you're St. Paul's, you're only down 4. Not bad. Severn, you know what you got to do. You have to all rebound as a 5-man team, then get out and run.
So it was an exciting first half here from UMBC, and we saw some lead changes. We saw a very exciting half of basketball played. Should be an exciting second half, but right now, as we are at the break, it is Severn who's got a 4-point lead.
What happens when a world-class luxury vehicle meets a luxurious first-class facility? You call it Sheehy Lexus of Annapolis. Right now, visit us in-store and choose from a great selection of new Lexus vehicles. Or build your own deal however you want and wherever you are at SheehyLexusOfAnnapolis.com. With an unmatched combination of selection, service, and purchasing flexibility, it's never been easier to find the perfect Lexus at Sheehy Lexus of Annapolis.
In Ocean City, Maryland, having fun is kind of our thing. I mean, look at these two. They're all about having fun. That's fun. This is fun. Whoa. Too much fun? Nah, no such thing. Because here, even leg day is fun. So head to the coast and, well, just coast. Pump up the volume, or just pump up the pool floaty. From the boardwalk to the bay, come discover somewhere to smile about.
The 2026 MIAA Championships are presented by Sheehy Lexus of Annapolis, your Baltimore Annapolis area Lexus dealer. O2 Sports Insurance, the #1 sports insurance in the USA. The town of Ocean City, something to smile about. School of the Cathedral of Mary Our Queen. Today we learn, tomorrow we lead. Discover Cathedral. And Toyota, the official non-luxury vehicle of the MIAA Championships. Let's go places.
Well, we're really pleased to be here at CEI Arena, where tonight the MIAA Championships are going to take place. We got a couple of really fun matchups, and we're pleased to be joined by Paul Bernsdorf, who's the MIAA Executive Director. We're at that time of year where it's championship season. You see some of the best teams in the area. What does it mean for you when you come here, the season's finally concluded, and you have a chance to crown a couple of champions?
Well, first of all, being able to come to UMBC is awesome. I mean, the kids walk in here, and a lot of our kids have never been in an arena like this, so they think it's like they're like in the NBA right now. And then, to come here, they host this great atmosphere, great crowds. We've got 4 great teams today going to play that have had tremendous seasons. I think, 2-3 losses in regular season play all year long. I mean, it's going to be a great battle today. It should be a lot of fun for these kids and be exciting. And, as a high school kid, you want to get to the championship game. There aren't that many times you can say you played in a championship game in a major college arena, and this is something they'll never forget. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a day that they're never going to forget. But when you think about it, these guys on both the A division and the B division, they're probably as well set up for these games as ever, because not only are these guys in the championships, but prior to this, a lot of these teams have played on national stages, and they've done extremely well.
Oh, they've played all over the area, all over the state, other states. They travel. They're playing, 30, 40 games. It's awesome to watch these kids play. And, they get a record. You follow them along in these major Christmas tournaments and holiday tournaments and all the other events they play in. It's really exciting.
In terms of some of the things that you're proud of this year across the basketball division and across the MIAA in the fall and into the winter time, what are some things that you take some pride in right now, and just how good the quality of competition, I'm sure, has to be one of them?
The quality of competition is important, but for me, this is education-based athletics. We are high school sports, and I am really proud of the way our coaches have conducted themselves, how few technicals we've had this year, the sportsmanship that's gone on between teams and schools and atmospheres. It's been awesome for us. So I'm really excited about that part of the year and how it's gone.
You've got some teams that are really pushing forward and having great years, maybe some a little bit unexpected. But today what's cool about it is you've got a couple of rematches of conference championship games from a year ago. Is there maybe going to be a little extra energy in the building tonight just because it's rematches of last year's championship games?
Oh, there's no doubt there'll be some energy in the building with these rematches. I mean, I know St. Francis lost last year. They weren't very happy, and St. Paul's wasn't very happy last year. They both felt like they had better teams. This is going to be some great basketball tonight.
Do you want to make any predictions while we have a moment?
I'm going to predict we're going to have 2 great games, and the sportsmanship will be awesome, which is what we're looking for,
Yeah, that's probably the safe answer. Paul, really appreciate you doing this, and let's have a couple of good games tonight.
It's been great. Thanks a lot for having us on, and thanks for hosting us here at CEI Arena.
Yeah, that's Paul Bernsdorf. He is the MIAA Executive Director. We're going to have basketball coming up in just a bit.
Owning a Toyota is about getting more. And with the most eye-catching selection of SUVs, your Toyota dealer is the 4-wheel and all-wheel drive headquarters this winter. So check out a Grand Islander with all the space and style you want and the efficiency and handling you need. Buy a Grand Islander today with 4.99% financing, a RAV4 with 4.75% financing, or get an affordable lease on a sporty Corolla Cross. Toyota, let's go places.
In Ocean City, Maryland, having fun is kind of our thing. I mean, look at these two. They're all about having fun. That's fun. This is fun. Whoa. Too much fun? Nah, no such thing. Because here, even leg day is fun. So head to the coast and, well, just coast. Pump up the volume, or just pump up the pool floaty. From the boardwalk to the bay, come discover somewhere to smile about.
Rich in tradition and guided by faith, Cathedral School is committed to fostering the intellectual, social, and spiritual development of every child. Our close-knit community of students, families, and educators creates an atmosphere of belonging and support that makes Cathedral not only a school, but a place where lifelong connections are formed and students are inspired to thrive. Learn more today, online, at schoolofthecathedral.org.
What happens when a world-class luxury vehicle meets a luxurious first-class facility? You call it Sheehy Lexus of Annapolis. Right now, visit us in-store and choose from a great selection of new Lexus vehicles. Or build your own deal however you want and wherever you are at SheehyLexusOfAnnapolis.com. With an unmatched combination of selection, service, and purchasing flexibility, it's never been easier to find the perfect Lexus at Sheehy Lexus of Annapolis.
Well, we welcome you back. It's the second half of the Conference B championship game between Severn and St. Paul's. Jeff Arnold with you, alongside the coach, Jimmy Patsos. And Jimmy, we saw Severn be able to get out in transition. It was a first quarter, which was tightly contested. The first half, where we saw lots of different lead changes, but in the end, we saw Severn grab a 4-point lead as they were able to come through and transition a bunch.
Look, that's the highlights. Great job to Coach Mark Fratto and his staff. You're seeing everything you need to see. We have 3-pointers and transition baskets by Severn. And you see St. Paul's going into the paint. Hatter hit a big 3. Cavins Edwards has been going. But that's it. A more great 2-man game by Severn to shoot back for TJ Jones, who's had a good game. You see St. Paul's, 14 rebounds. St. Paul's second shots and getting in the paint versus transition and 3-pointers. A little bit of zone by Severn, but mostly they collapse. St. Paul's, you're happy you're only down 4. You have to convert when you get second shots. When you get it in the paint, that's your strength. But you better get back on defense, because Coach Glasby's team, there's a reason they've won 2 in a row. And when they get the ball on a miss or a turnover, they're out running the break.
Yeah, this is one of the few times that Severn has been in a tight game recently. They've won 8 straight, and they have won each of their last 8 games by double figures. Their average margin in victory is about 19.5 points. As we take one final look at our stats presented by CFG Bank. And we're getting ready to start this second half here from UMBC Arena. Once again, it is Severn and St. Paul's in the Conference B championship game. Last year, it was Severn who beat St. Paul's 51-42. But what will the second half have in store tonight?
A straight 2-3 zone by St. Paul's. They're just going to come out, match up out of the 3. Noah's out there starting. For St. Paul's, a little different look, just a straight 2-3, old Syracuse matchup. Big man's not going to leave the paint. And they get a turnover. Good adjustment by Coach Hahn.
Yeah, looking for Harvey on the cut, and it was out of his race turn a little too quickly as well. So here come the Crusaders. They've played well, winning 6 out of their last 7 games. Another year where they find themselves in the semis of the championship game, and they commit a turnover. Here's DJ Lee going into a crowd. Skeeter for Lee from the short corner, knocks down the jumper.
Every time you play zone, if you get the ball in the middle, good things happen because then they make the pass out from the high post to the short corner. That's where you're open. That, and you have to overload the side for three-pointers. But good job by Severn adjusting.
Now, pretty much an easy take for Cole Edwards. That was right on a platter.
Yeah, Edwards, great player. He's actually playing the 3 right now. You know, Noah's a sophomore. He's young. Hatter's the 2. Edwards is the 3, and then they got the 2 bigs. They're going to play zone because they don't want to give any open looks from the 3, but they want to stop the drive. Oh, you got to steal that. You can't let them cross court lap if you're St. Paul's on D. Good movement by Severn.
McClure to the interior, and a nice rejection there by Andrew Cooper.
I like it. St. Paul's is running.
Caden Edwards is going to go to the free throw line after he went all the way to the rim.
St. Paul's giving a little dose of their own medicine to Severn. We'll get out in transition. I like the 2-3. The reason I like the 2-3, Jeff, is in the second half because you can't adjust at halftime. So if they showed their 2-3 early, Severn goes over the 2-3 zone and says, let's do this. You wait till halftime. You really just come out, walk out in the 2-3 zone. They have the size. They got the length. It's a little less switching because Severn had done some good things offensively, and all of a sudden you're right back in this thing. CFG, thanks for the stats, thanks for the help, and thanks for the great concerts downtown.
Second free throw is a make for Caden Edwards. And, Coach, here's another thing you got to keep track of. Harvey was called for that last foul. He's got 3 of them right now for Severn.
Can't have Harvey go out. Best player. Can play. He's really a guard. He plays like the 3-4 for Severn. He'll be a 2 in college. They're really talking hard. This is a straight. Now you got to rebound out of the zone. That's the one little flaw. Nice block.
Yeah, and a late foul is called. Cole Edwards thought it was clean, but the official doesn't think so.
Problem is, got to get all the guys. Hatter and Noah are going out to cover the 3s. The back defender comes up. That's straight Syracuse. That's why the shirt. I say that in respect to Jim Boeheim, just a 2-3 zone. Lawrence Moten, RIP. I coached him in high school. When I saw how Syracuse, the 5-man doesn't leave, the 2 back guys have to come up and take the foul line extended, but you have to rebound out of it. And Severn's done a good job of moving that ball around against the zone. But you get that rebound, everything's set. You didn't get it.
Yeah, it certainly helps to play a zone when you've got the size of guys like Cooper and Wheeler and Edwards.
And Harvey makes him pay with 2 free throws. So he can make 3s, he can drive the ball, he can play defense. He's shown a little of everything. I really like Harvey's game.
And he's got 13 points right now. Washington to the interior. Cole Edwards lost it. And so Severn has the basketball with just under 6 minutes to go in the third quarter.
Cooper and Edwards. Cooper and Edwards. Well, I'll tell you what, that's some real size out there. And just sip through. They got, right-hand drive.
Had the step. Skeeter can't lay it in. Here comes St. Paul's out on the run once again. Rejected there by T.J. Jones.
Yeah, Jones, he'll play defense. He'll hit a 3. He's a good forward. He kind of let him think he was going to have the layup and timed it. Good steal from behind. And here goes St. Paul's running again.
Andrew Cooper, bucket, and the foul. Oh, you talk about tasting your own medicine. And St. Paul's now with a chance to make this a 1-point game.
3-point play the old-fashioned way. That's how they're going to get him. The zone has been working overall for St. Paul. Sure, they gave up a little bit of a two-point corner shot early, short corner. And Severn, they're not getting a chance to run, because St. Paul's is converting. 2, they're running back to their spots. They don't have to run back in transition, and that hurts Severn because they want to play the running game.
So he misses the free throw right there. 10 points for Edwards. And it's still a 2-point game. One that's been tightly contested. We saw Severn gain a little bit of a larger lead at the end of the second quarter. On the baseline, runs into a crowd, gets stripped away. Again, the Crusaders out on the run. Nice hesitation, can't be laid home by Caden Edwards. Second effort by Edwards, that's not going to go. Here comes Harvey back in transition, stripped out of his hands by Washington. Makes a really nice play.
St. Paul's getting more shots, getting into the paint, but you got to finish. Good job by Noah Washington getting back on defense there and stopping the break.
Yeah, point guard.
Now they trapped the first pass in the zone. Now they're back to the 2-3 matchup.
St. Paul's forces yet another turnover. 4-on-2. Washington 3. And he hits this one. St. Paul's takes the lead, 35-34.
See, the thing you're not going to see there much is Caden Edwards he's going to get an assist. But he really ran the break and was patient. And Noah Washington did a good job of flaring out all the way to the NBA corner. That's what they call that. And then shooting the 3 off the catch, no hesitation.
DJ Lee trying to get him going in the third quarter. 10 different lead changes in the game today. Here's the drive. Lee can't get it to roll in. Defensive rebound.
Nice
Andrew
pass.
Cooper out to Edwards, hacked and fouled. Cole Edwards, a sophomore, going to the free throw line.
I would have to say so far this half's been St. Paul's. It's a 1-point game. But they scored to end the half. It was a goaltending goal. They were down 6 with 5 seconds to go. They got to stop, convert on the other end, use that momentum, make an adjustment and play 2-3 zone. And here they've sort of taken the momentum over. Severn's got to find a way to attack that zone defense, but also if Severn gets stops, they can run on them. They've got a good job here at St. Paul's of converting or getting to the free throw line, which slows Severn down.
Yeah, one of the things that we heard that St. Paul's does very effectively is the way that they can move around their different defenses, and by them making some adjustments, it's forced some turnovers, and they've been able to get out and run. It's the free throw. 2-point lead now for the Crusaders. And they're going to have Karan Wheeler check it back in. There he is, Karan Wheeler, getting all kinds of look in the football world. Defensive end. Guy that didn't even play football as a sophomore in that year, focused on basketball.
What a great story. Good inside passing.
Gets rid of it just in time. Harvey, catch and shoot, 3. Airballed it. Defensive rebound, Andrew Cooper. Washington thought about another 3. Caden Edwards. Wheeler, back to Washington. He hits a 3. Couple of big trays for the sophomore here this third quarter. And a timeout is called by Severn with 3:12 to go in the third period.
Washington, I was a little critical of in the first half, maybe taking some bad shots. Your excited sophomore, being very patient right now. He's in transition. He went out on the 3-point line. There he let the ball run around a few times from side to side. Edwards makes the right pass. Noah catch and shoot off the catch. Doesn't let the defense, doesn't try to dribble, doesn't try to shoot too much. He's getting better as the game's going on, showing why he's a sophomore to watch in the DMV.
I mean, you got Washington. That's his first of 2 threes that he's made. I mean, honestly, if the Crusaders manage to hold on for this game, Jimmy, you're going to point to those 2 threes from Noah Washington as what gave them a little bit of a spark.
Yeah, I'm going to point to the zone defense adjustment by Phil Hahn to Washington, but the person that's really running this whole show out there right now is Caden Edwards. The energy of St. Paul's is from Caden Edwards. It's his ability to stop the ball on the zone, play a little rebounding, but he's leading the break, but he's really making passes. I really like his leadership in making passes. So impressive for the senior.
Grayson Skeeter, really good point guard. Gives it off to DJ Lee. Admirals trying to find their footing. Double team comes on the baseline. Harvey stepped out of bounds. And so the pressure came with Wheeler assisting, and St. Paul's forces their latest turnover.
There's Henry Hatter playing good defense, holds his ground. Severn tries to spin the baseline, steps out. Turnover.
Yeah, they have hurt the Admirals here in the third quarter. Long 3. That one is too strong from Caden Edwards. Missed there by Cooper. Hatter got fouled. St. Paul's getting offensive rebounds, and here's Hatter's opportunity to shoot a pair.
When your guards get offensive rebounds, you got problems if you're Severn. Now, Hatter's got some size and strength for a senior. But he's really a two-guard. But he's in there rebounding. See, second effort. John Wooden, the old guy from UCLA, he won like 10 titles. I'm kind of joking. John Wooden, when you grab an offensive rebound, don't tip it. When you grab it, you're either going to get fouled or make the basket. And here's Hatter, who can shoot free throws, clearly, since he's a really good three-point shooter. That's, once again, it's points in the paint, but also they get to go back and set up their defense for St. Paul's. The Crusaders have owned this third quarter.
And I go back to what you're saying about Hatter at the free throw line. He makes two right there. He shoots just under 80% from the season, and St. Paul's extends their largest lead,
Henry
7
Hatter
points.
can really shoot. The problem he has is when he goes home, he's not the best shooter in his house. Because his father, Charlie Hatter, who played at James Madison, one of the great high school players in Virginia history, he's the best shooter in that house.
Yeah, another thing to keep track of is T.J. Jones now has 3 fouls for Severn. We already talked about the issues for Harvey. Lee hits a 3. He's been quiet in this third, but he makes it a 4-point affair.
You know, it's Lee, it's Jones, it's Harvey. But I'll tell you one thing, Lee right there, that was a big 3. If Severn looks back, they cut it to 4. They kind of lost him a little. Their zone wasn't bad scrambling, but he was wide open off the catch.
Blocked on the inside by Yusuf. Free ball on the floor.
Yusuf's
possession
given
arrow.
them good 6-man minutes.
And a possession arrow is going to favor St. Paul's.
Because St. Paul's won the tap, then it goes alternates every time. There's been one jump ball. At the end of the game, we want to know whose ball it is on the jump and how many timeouts we have. We don't have to worry about that for another quarter. Like that post up. Ooh, good help.
Yeah, Yusuf steps in. Now he's got it. Lost it. Out of bounds. I think maybe Severn thinking that he was fouled. Mike Glaspie going down to talk to Russell Johnson, the official on the baseline, but lost it on his own accord apparently.
Skeeter made the right pass. He gave it back to him quick. He's just got to finish that. Yusuf, good block down the other end. Catch 2 hands and get it to the rim.
Here's Edwards getting help on the screen from Wheeler. Washington saves in front of his own bench. Nowhere to go. The drive and lead.
Nice pass.
Cole Edwards leaves it for Cooper.
Love the big-to-big pass. Gets it the high post. That's the big-to-big. The 5 to the floor and catches it. Really good job right there by Andrew Cooper of catching it and not pump faking, not putting it on the floor. Just catching, lays it in.
11 points for Cooper today as we near 1 minute in the third quarter.
They get it to the high post. That's good help. They recover. They're in their 2-3 zone. Noah's smart, Washington. He can't help too much because he gave up a 3. Good. That's good defense.
Harvey misses on the 3. Defensive rebound to Caden Edwards. Edwards for Wheeler. On the drive. Nice little floater there for Karan Wheeler. Great body control.
Someone's going to find him on the football field. Depends where he goes and say someone's going to get hurt. And in January 1, they're going to say, you want to play basketball in Florida too? Or Georgia? Nice steal. They want to make an easy play on the break. He's going to drive the ball. Pick it up if you're St. Paul's. Severn's got him in a little bit of a scramble mode. Good timeout by Coach Hahn.
Yeah, pressure was coming from Yusuf. 19.3 seconds left here in the third quarter.
I like that Coach Hahn uses timeout there because they were in a little bit of a scramble mode, but it's a 45-37, 8-point game. It's not critical, but you know going to double digits, Jeff, if you get it to 3 and go up 10, double digits mentally can put a lot of pressure on the other team. Coach Hahn doesn't want to turn over. Can't take your timeouts with you. Calls timeout, brings them over. There's 19 on the shot on the clock. And this is because, remember, we're going to look back, Jeff. Stopping Severn when they were up 6. Severn was up 6. They not only got to stop St. Paul's to win the half, they converted down the other end with 4 seconds left. They didn't panic, took the ball to the basket, cut it to 4, came out, played the 2-3 zone. That's where you make these little adjustments as a coach. Glasby's done it. He's won 2 titles. Coach Hahn's chasing him hard. St. Paul's energy in the third quarter is much better, but this game will be decided in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, the largest lead for the Crusaders in this one against the Severn team that is trying for its 3rd straight B-Conference championship. And it will be the Crusaders who have the final look inside of 20 seconds.
So see if they hold for 1. That's a bad pass right there.
Lee intercepts. Nice Euro step to the bucket.
Not what you, while I said out of the timeout, great adjustment guy Glasby. See, Noah jumped in the air. That's where he shows his youth.
Edwards, 2 seconds, knocks it down. So after you lose some momentum, St. Paul's gets it right back. And they've got a 9-point lead going into the fourth quarter. How about that quick swing in momentum?
Huge three.
That was something impressive. The Crusaders control in the third quarter. Noah Washington, a couple of good moments. He had 2 really big threes that provided a boost. And so far, St. Paul's leading going to the fourth.
With the Toyota, affordability isn't about cutting back. It's about getting more. And with many models starting under $35,000, getting ahead has never been easier. So check out a Camry and choose from the features and tech you want. Or a Corolla with the style and value you need. Plus, every new Toyota comes with a 2-year no-cost scheduled maintenance plan. Buy a Camry or Corolla today with 4.99% financing. Toyota. Let's go places.
48-39. St. Paul's gets a big 3 going into the fourth quarter after a turnover led to a bucket for DJ Lee. And so St. Paul's, they have done extremely well. As we take a look at this 0-2 defensive play of the game by 0-2 Sports Insurance. And what a nice block there by Cole Edwards.
I thought Caden Edwards really dominated the game that third quarter. He handled the ball well. He set the tone. He played good defense. And then hits the 3 to end the half. End the quarter. That's both the end of the second and third quarter. St. Paul's has executed. That's why the Crusaders are up 10. That's 5 points instead of being up 5 with 1 or 2 seconds on the clock at both ends of the quarters. Tough drive with the right hand. Got to finish that if you're Severn.
Yeah, Harvey not able to do that. He's playing with 3 fouls right now as well. TJ Jones also with 3 fouls for the Admirals, something that they will be dealing with in this fourth quarter. Lee with 8 on the shot clock, dealing with Hatter. The step through, really nice finish there by DJ Lee.
Defense by Hatter. He took away his right hand, but as Billy Donovan taught us, what do you do when I take away your right hand? He finished with his left. Nice shot there.
Yeah, great at handling the basketball. 10 or more points, 25 of the 26 games for the Admirals this year. Bullying inside, Yusuf with another nice block. He's provided that spark off the bench.
Yusuf's been tremendous defensively. Good fly.
Lee pulls the trigger, misses it, out of bounds, and it's going to stay here.
It's the right call. Got to grab it with 2 hands. This is the fourth quarter of a championship game. Don't be looking for one-handed rebounds and the ref to bail you out. See, it's one hand. Got to go with 2 hands.
Severn to put it in play.
Ooh, they could have stole that.
Harvey throws it off Washington, but stays in bounds. Cooper with it. Cooper kicks. Washington 3, in and out. And the rebound of the Admirals.
That's all right. Good look by Washington in transition. Now don't gamble if you're St. Paul's right now. You've been 2-3 solid's been good.
Harvey with a hand in his face, but he's able to knock down that jumper, and a timeout called here by Severn.
4-point game. That's a 3 that didn't go. I don't mind Washington's 3 not going. Don't run back and gamble. You know why I'm on Washington? Because he's got a chance to be a really good player. You got to get back and match up on defense. Get your team matched up.
Owning a Toyota is about getting more. And with the most eye-catching selection of SUVs, your Toyota dealer is the 4-wheel and all-wheel drive headquarters this winter. So check out a Grand Islander with all the space and style you want and the efficiency and handling you need. Buy a Grand Highlander today with 4.99% financing, a RAV4 with 4.75% financing, or get an affordable lease on a sporty Corolla Cross. Toyota, let's go places.
Well, St. Paul's, they outscored Severn 22-9 in the third quarter, but Jimmy Patsos, so far Severn has got the first 5 here in the fourth.
Yes, this is, basketball's, that's what I love about basketball. It's fun to coach and practice because you can simulate games so easy. Football's different, baseball's way different. Basketball, you can simulate. And what you're seeing right now is change of momentum, okay? They won the third quarter handily, I thought Caden Edwards took over. Well, they come right out with a 5-0 run. They get a stop, and then they make a tough 2, and they call timeout. You know why they call timeout? They're down to 4. Glasby's telling them, we're the champs, we've been here. And there's a turnover by St. Paul's.
Yeah, and an over and back. Mistake made. So Severn
Don't
seeing
take my
momentum.
We got Tom Strickler here right now. The legend Strickler with Jack DeGio. You know what Strickler's doing? Wondering if I'll buy lunch and try to steal my notes. That's why we love the MIAA, because all the legends come out. I will tell you this right now. Here's the 2-3 zone. I don't know why St. Paul's went away from that. And Tom Strickler, one of the great scouts, along with Tom Kachelski, and I could name guys that have really done a great job helping young men and women get to college. Tom Strickler is one of those.
Harvey gets fouled, and Edwards is the one that commits it. That looks to be a good call.
Yeah, Harvey deserves that call. He's earned it for his reputation around the state for his last couple of years of play. There was the jump ball. Yeah, he came down on him. Good call. I thought the refereeing's been very fair.
Very fair. They've also let them play as well. Is Tom still trying to steal your papers, Sir Jimmy?
These guys. This is why going to Baltimore and the DMV is great. Jack DeGio runs the BCL. The powerhouse matchup's coming next with Tom Strickler, who's here to watch players and write down evaluations from Division III, Division II, Division I. And that's why this is a great area, because there's players at every level.
Yeah, we're going to see some great players in our nightcap. St. Francis taking on Mount Carmel in the Conference A championship. Out of bounds, deflected. It is going to stay with the Crusaders.
I think that was the right call.
And now some help on this one.
I thought he touched the ball, but they don't have replay here. But you know what? They did a little run and jump. Severn did a little 51. 55 is a diamond press on the ball. 51. Little run and jump. Washington gives it up. But they're rushing. St. Paul's, the Crusaders, they don't look as poised as they did last quarter. They look a little bit like they're rushing around.
Admirals trying for their third straight Conference B championship. Skeeter. Bounce pass to Yusuf. Throws to the interior, inside, outside. One more. Yusuf stripped away. Cooper got a hand on it.
Great ball movement, though, by Severn. That was 7 passes. I was counting 7 passes.
Well, it will remain St. Paul's basketball. There, Cole Edwards exits. Severn will have 12 to shoot, 5:33 left to play. And the Admirals down by 4 points. Harvey, long 3. And he got it. That is a big 3 by a big player. 1 point game.
Out of bounds play. If it's anybody but Harvey, I can give forgiveness for St. Paul's. But it's Harvey who caught that in front of the bench. Okay, we all know he's the best player on the team. You got to be on him no matter where he is and catches that. That's a defensive mistake by St. Paul's.
Yeah, 19 points for Harvey in the game. Cooper down the paint, tough angle shot. Wheeler, big rebound, no good. Yusuf got a hand at his face, and Harvey's got the board for Severn. Chance to take the lead. Lob up ahead for Lee, underneath the basket. Work it on the perimeter. Harvey, another 3. This time left it short. Yusuf touched it last. It goes back to St. Paul's.
Got a little lucky there. The Severn. Harvey was open again. Now that was an NBA 3. This is the out of bounds play on the replay. Yeah, you have to close. I wouldn't even let him catch it. I'm proving that with my coaching career. The best player is not going to beat me, okay? He's got 19. He's earning his rep. By now, everyone knows who he is. Plus, you played against each other, Plot. You cannot let Harvey get a wide open jumper like that on an out of bounds play when you should be easy finding. See, they're not letting Washington have the ball. And I thought Edwards did a good job of running the offense. I thought Cavan did a really good job. Caden, I'm sorry, in the first half and the third quarter. But they're trying to deny Washington the ball. That's inside. You got to make those.
Not able to get it. Youssef all over him. Severn gets the board.
If you're the Crusaders, you've had the ball twice in the paint, 2 feet from the basket, didn't get a score.
Nearing 4 minutes in the fourth. St. Paul's has been up by as many as 8 after Severn led early. Lee against Washington.
It's good defense. Take away his right hand for Harvey. Okay, that's fine. That's a tough shot. That's not going to go.
Skater not even close with the shot clock running down. Cooper running the floor. Hatter out of the corner for 3. Airballed it. Picked up by Lee. Out of the run. Washington getting over, but Lee goes the distance for 2, and Severn's got the lead back. 11 different lead changes in this game.
It's been a great game. Glasby's out there fired up playing defense. There's a read. Coach Hahn, good timeout. Got to get composed. This is the third quarter was there. Their money, fourth quarter. That is not a good start. And all of a sudden, you're down to 3:36. Remember, there's 8-minute quarters in high school. We're used to pros with his 48-minute game in the pro, 40-minute in college. It's only 32. Severn, what an adjustment in the third quarter. Timeout between the third quarter and the fourth quarter.
And you're seeing Severn. You see Harvey make the 3. You get Lee going coast to coast. 2 of their biggest players stepping up at a time where their team needs it the most.
Yeah, and Harvey hit the 3 out of bounds, but it's really been their defense. They're doing a good job inside of not fouling Severn. And therefore, St. Paul's, you're not going to get bailed out. You have to they've missed a couple layups. I want the ball in Edwards. I want the ball in Caden Edwards' hands a lot right now. Look, Hatter can play, Noah's young, they have inside players. But Caden Edwards has proven today that he's the leader. It's kind of Edwards versus Sean Harvey. So I want Edwards touching the ball a lot if I'm the St. Paul staff.
So 10-0 here in that fourth quarter with the Crusaders trying to settle down. Last year, Severn beat St. Paul's in the championship 51-42, and the Admirals going for their 3rd straight D-Conference championship. So after the timeout was called, St. Paul's is going to inbound it. It's Andrew Cooper to put it in play. Throws out to Washington. And now it's in the hand of Caden Edwards.
You know, coming out of the timeout, they're going to run their motion offense into the handoff. Good look right there.
Cooper the kick. 3, Edwards. That one rolls through. Bounced a couple of times and dropped, and St. Paul's ends the drought.
I did coach for a while. Get that guy the ball. You know, things are just good going to happen. Very patient, ran their offense. But you got Caden Edwards. That's why we won a lot at Maryland. We got Juan Dixon the ball.
Harvey is shut off on the baseline. 3 minutes left in the game.
And they've gone back to the man-to-man. Got to watch the right-hand drive. Good help.
Nice job by Lee. Missed the first chance, but then on the second effort got it in.
Lee has been a nice player to watch for me. Hit a 3 early, guards the big guys, doesn't complain, can make a 2, rebounds. Kind of a really well-balanced player.
Cooper met by Youssef. Wheeler steps out, left that one long. Rebound, Andrew Cooper. Cooper up in the foul. Drew contact, and he'll have a chance at a 3-point play. What a big-time play there by Andrew Cooper.
I can't believe that went in. What a great effort, okay? The shot's not great. Great effort to get it. Falling down and gets fouled. That's a tough shot right there. Looks like Charles Barkley out there.
I believe that's the 4th foul against Harvey as well.
Yeah, he's going to have to play with 4. There's only 2:25 left. This is his career. He's 2-time champ. Got to know not to foul out. But Severn for the size of themselves versus St. Paul's, I'm talking kind of weight. You know, I'm a husky guy. I understand that, Jeff. They have held their own, Severn. They have really done a good job of holding their own. That's their first mistake. I jinxed them.
Edwards won't roll in. Volleyballed around. Picked up by Harvey.
That's 4 bunnies, and I say that. That's 4 layups in the paint. It's one thing to get it into the paint. Then you got to finish. That's 4 layups St. Paul's has missed. Point-blank layups. They're still up 2, no problem. 2 minutes left, up 2. Jump ball. There are plenty of timeouts. Jump ball goes to St. Paul's right now. They're up 2 with 2 minutes left in the championship game. You got to be happy with that. But if I do call a timeout, fellas, we got to finish around the rim. We got to start making layups if we want to hoist the trophy.
Lee puts it in play for Harvey.
Good
Lost
steal.
the ball. Stolen away. They get it to Washington. Up ahead, Caden Edwards lays that one in. Again, we see St. Paul's run the floor.
What a play. I can't say enough about Andrew Cooper. He kind of came off the ball on his own. Got from behind, got the steal, hit the floor, picked it up. Washington, nice play. Keep getting the ball to Edwards. That's why he's got 23 points. That's why he's trying to take this team home. After being in the finals twice, you got to find him.
Harvey long 3, left it short. Rebound rundown. Ahead, Andrew Cooper lays that one in. What grit we are seeing from St. Paul's. Their lead is 6. A minute 32 left, and a timeout is called.
I am so impressed. Andrew Cooper sort of just has taken this team over emotionally. He's finishing. He's playing defense, but he's leading. You can see he's a leader right there. He just said, Edwards kept you in the game. Hatter hasn't shot the ball well, really good player. No, Washington's been very good for a sophomore. But it's really been Edwards. It's Edwards and Cooper, Edwards and Cooper, Edwards and Cooper. I keep seeing them with the ball in their hands, finishing, but being fired up, being happy for their team. Severn, this is the do-or-die possession right here, Jeff. You must come down, whether it's a 2 or 3. You must convert here. You might call a timeout if you want to, but you got to convert if you're the Severn school, whether it's a 2 or 3 right here with a minute 30 to. Minute 30, down 6, jump ball's theirs. It's meaning St. Paul's. This is what you're saying. If you're in the Severn huddle, Glasby's like, fellas, sorry, we've won twice. You want to win 3 times? You got to convert here.
Severn has got 3 timeouts left. St. Paul's just took a timeout there. They've got 1 remaining. Lee's going to let the ball roll and pick it up as we hit a minute and a half left to go. 57-51, St. Paul's lead of the bucket, lays that one home. Severn, they started off the 4th at a 10-0 run, and then St. Paul's had a big response.
You got to be tough with the ball. Be careful with those one-handed passes. Anytime Caden has the ball is a good thing. You got to run your offense. There's a shot clock.
Washington, the sophomore, gets fouled. McClure is going to be charged with this foul. That's the second one against Severn in the 4th quarter.
Yeah, so they're going to have to get it in 3 times. Charlie Hatter up there coaching. I love it, telling the ref, good call. You got to be tough with the ball. But when in doubt, and I know Washington's young, but he can make free throws because he's a point guard. He's a sophomore. Caden Edwards, I want to get the ball in his hand because now, see, you got a fresh shot clock. But it's 4. Severn did their job. They got out of their timeout, down 6. They made their 2. The jump ball, if it's on the ground, they dive. The St. Paul's Crusaders gets it. They have a timeout left, okay? Severn has 3 timeouts, plenty. St. Paul's has 1. These are the things for young coaches or young people watching. This is what coaches talk about. What do we have possession-wise? How are we going to get the ball in bounds? Who has the timeouts?
Yeah, they're checking DJ Lee for blood. That's why he has gone over to the Severn bench.
He's been great from start to finish. Still a little bit of a do-it-all player. I'm impressed with his game.
Well, it's Cooper leading the way for St. Paul's with 15 points in the game. 19 for Harvey and 19 for Lee on the Severn side. So after he's taken care of by the training staff, Lee is back in.
This is interesting. This is what Gary Williams and myself sidelined 55. We would have trapped that first pass. They're putting pressure on Noah.
Washington needs help. He is assisted by Caden Edwards, who will now handle. Shot clock is down to 10. 50 seconds left in the game. On the bounce, Cole Edwards got fouled. They're going to call it on Yusuf.
Smart. He's got his big lineup in there. He's got 3 bigs. That's his. You're talking running. You're talking Washington quarterback, Caden running back, and 3 linemen out there. That's what it looks like right now because 6 of the 8 players do play football. Coach Hahn made sure to say there's nothing the Severn could do there. And Zach Yusuf's been great today. But that's just too much size. Now they tried to steal the ball. I like that. The only thing you can really do is if you're Severn is take a charge there. Big free throws.
Makes the first one. He's at 64% from the free throw line this year.
Great shot by my fellow Libra. Calm, cool, collected.
That is good.
2 shots.
13 points on the game for Cole Edwards today. 43 seconds remaining in this one. The kick, McClure left alone. 3 is no good. Edwards fighting for the rebound. We've got a tie-up forced, and it is going to go to the Crusaders with 35 seconds left.
You'll look back. Big free throws, big rebound right there. St. Paul's trying to make their run here to close this game out by what? Getting the ball in bounds, handling the pressure, and then making free throws. "12 blue, Caden Edwards, the #1 player in the third and fourth quarter to me in this game. I really like what Harvey's done, but Caden Edwards, now look, first of all, Andrew Cooper gets on the ground. Washington makes the play. But Caden Edwards finishes. It's been him versus Harvey, and Sean Harvey's been great. There's 2-time champs. Caden Edwards has had a little bit of the edge today. You can sense that he really wants his championship to go out and leave his legacy at St. Paul's.
Yeah, that is the 5-star play of the game today. You've talked about him all game long, Coach. Caden Edwards, what he has provided for this Crusaders team facing a red-hot Severn Admirals team. 2 teams that are able to hold on to their players, and we have seen some really big moments from all across the rosters of each of these teams.
Yeah, St. Paul's comes out and plays zone. Severn adjusts, gets used to. Severn takes over in the start of the fourth quarter and takes the lead. See, sometimes you come back from down 9 or 10, Jeff. You take the lead, you sigh, oh, we're here. Well, St. Paul's responded, and St. Paul's size in the paint and their ability to hit the floor and get some loose balls. It's just a little bit more grit from St. Paul's down the stretch here. That's full court pressure with the inbounder being denied. You're playing with the center field. You're denying Noah Washington the ball.
Cooper's going to throw it into Cole Edwards. Yusuf grabs him and fouls him with 34.6 seconds left. And so that was still just the 4th foul. The officials have let both teams play today.
So now after this, they're going to have to get there when they get the ball in. That's why I wanted to get in a nice inbounds. I would foul him right away,
Yeah.
Yes.
And there it is by DJ Lee.
You know, Wheeler, he's a junior. He's, like you said, he's one of the top-rated football players right now in the area. He's going to have to make these free throws. It's 1-on-1. It's 5 by the quarter. Remember, it's not college. This is 5 by the quarter. These are big free throws right here.
So Wheeler at the line, shooting a pair. This is on the first free throw attempt.
I used to always tell my guys, 1 out of 2 is fine down the last minute. I'll take 1 out of 2. Want the scoreboard to move. So you want to get up to the line before he hands him the ball.
This is to make it a 7-point game. A couple of deep breaths for Karan Wheeler. There's your 1 and 2. 2-second difference between shot clock and game clock.
Oh, they're going to have to shoot it fast here.
Very fast. Lee's got it in the corner. Against a crowd, fades away, misses it. Picked up on the defensive rebound by Cole Edwards. Foul is called, 15.4 seconds left. And the Crusaders and their fans, they can taste it now. So 2 free throws coming up here for Cole Edwards. That third quarter was huge for St. Paul's. They outscored Severn 22-9 after Severn led at halftime. And despite a slow start for the Crusaders in the fourth quarter, St. Paul's found its footing.
Going to have a new champion here in the B Conference.
Second free throw, no good. And then a foul is called against Karan Wheeler, which is going to give it back to Severn.
Yeah, you don't want to stop the clock, but
Well, for St. Paul's, really good program. A team, though, that because they have so many football players, almost takes them a little bit of time to get their year rolling. But once they get going, as they have shown at times today, they are very tough to stop. 10 seconds left in this one. Lee's going to let the 3 ball go. It is no good, and the Crusaders march their way to a Conference B championship.
Very exciting. I know they won in hockey a few years back, and it was kind of one of those moments in time, but so happy for the young players, so happy for Phil Hahn. But make no mistake, Severn gave them all they wanted. Coach Glasby, 2-time champ. He'll be back. What a great game. Happy for the St. Paul's. Happy for Coach Hahn as a former coach. He's put the time in, good guy, and he's got a bright future. They got a young team.
And St. Paul's, you know, when he was looking back at this upcoming matchup, Phil Hahn remembered how it kind of began at the very beginning for him. Said in his second year with the Crusaders, they won only 1 league game, but he has built a program to be reckoned with, a program that usually is reaching this point. And after last year, they fell to Severn. Another opportunity in this rematch. And St. Paul's comes out on top this time, winning it 61-53 here at CEI Arena at UMBC. They're MIAA B basketball champions. St. Paul's, they make it all the way to the end, and they beat a really good Severn team. A lot of great contributions throughout this one. So St. Paul's, they can celebrate a championship. This is the 5th straight year. They're in the semifinals or better. It's their 3rd championship appearance in 7 years. A matchup of 2 heavyweights in their respective divisions. St. Paul's, this year they battled some adversity. They dealt with injuries. You had to wait for everybody who plays on the football team as well to get going into full basketball mode. But once they did, St. Paul's got rolling, and this year they end up as the champions.
And now for tonight's player of the game, congratulations to St. Paul's senior guard number 12, Caden Edwards.
Well, the player of the game is Caden Edwards. No surprise. Brought to you by She Lexus. 14 points, and then he was at his best when it matters the most. 12 points in the second half. Nearly had the double-double with 9 rebounds. Guy that has range all over the place. Did a really good job at handling the basketball as well. Caden Edwards, your She Lexus player of the game for your MIAA champion St. Paul Crusaders. Jimmy Patsos is going to have some reflections from Phil Hahn and I believe Caden Edwards as well in just a moment. We've got an exciting second game coming up as well between the St. Francis Academy Panthers and the Mount Carmel Cougars, 2 of the best clubs in the entire state, and 2 teams very well respected nationally as well. You feel great for the St. Paul's Crusaders and their fans. This is a matchup that you've grown to look forward to this time of year, with St. Paul's and Severn meeting up in the playoffs seemingly all the time. And this time it's St. Paul's who comes out on top. Let's go over to Jimmy Patsos. He is with Caden Edwards as well as head coach Phil Hahn of the Crusaders.
Good things come to those who work hard and wait. Coach Hahn, 3 times to get here. Caden Edwards, number 12. I thought you took over the second half. I also want to get to you about your zone. But, Caden, you just wanted that championship. You kind of were playing the point, playing defense. Tell us what you talked about at halftime.
Just don't let up. Punch them in the mouth first, as Coach Phil always said. Even though we face adversity, we got to keep on coming back no matter what. So just keep fighting.
It's a nice group you have here, and you play with some football players. I noticed they were doing it inside. You were kind of patient, but you still scored a lot of points. Your ability to play the point and the two guard, can you talk about that?
I say let the game come to me. I've been playing for so long, I get used to it. So don't let little things get in my head and just keep playing basketball like I know how to. So, yeah.
Well, congratulations. It's a long time coming. You're going to play in college. Good job. Coach Hahn, you go and you go 2-3 zone. You save it for halftime. You come out in the 2-3. It really slows them down. Talk about that adjustment.
Yeah, so we're typically, for the last 3 years, we've been primarily a zone team. So the adjustment for us was kind of in the first half. So we did really well with what I thought was our man. They shot it really well against it. We executed our game plan, but they made shots. So the second half, we were ready to switch it up. Like, I trusted what we were doing in the first half, but we didn't want to get away from what got us here completely. So we were ready to switch things up. And, you know, that we have the personnel for the zone. We got a great zone coach, and C.J. Ferry played at Syracuse. So, you know, it's using all the things that we have at our disposal.
First thing I said was Syracuse zone. 5-man doesn't leave. Back guys come up until the guards get over. Noah Washington, sophomore, did a good job. Hatter played good defense. But I want to talk about your bigs. They were just relentless in there, and I know you were so proud on the phone with me. 6 of 8 guys played football. Their teammates, their toughness, but they seem like they enjoy doing all the dirty work.
Yeah, they really do. I think that for part of this year, it's been a battle, us getting in shape. And I knew that by the end of the year, we would be playing our best basketball. So, like, 100% effort. It took us a little while to finish up our rotation, or shore up our rotations, because we got a later start. But once we did and we started playing hard all the time, it's been a pretty magical little run for us.
Congratulations. It took you 2 times. You're a great guy and a great coach. You're great for the area. And all your kids stay. You know why? Because they love you.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Well, a very excited head coach in Phil Hahn in his 8th season as the head coach of the Crusaders, and his team, the champions this year in the MIAA Big Conference. It was an exciting matchup all the way between Severn and St. Paul's. It was Severn leading at the halftime break. St. Paul's really came out firing in the third quarter, and despite Severn's push at the start of the fourth, it was St. Paul's that is able to finish out the job. Special thanks to our entire group. For Jimmy Patsos, Jeff Arnold saying so long, St. Paul's, your champion.